our weather impact is from Beryl is going to be heavy rain, damaging wind, and dangerous surf. Tornadoes are also possible. I have not highlighted tornadoes in red just yet because currently the Storm Prediction Center has us at a marginal risk of tornadoes, and additionally they're typically pretty isolated and sparse, but they do start to develop on some of those outer bands, which we could start to see as early as Sunday. But dangerous surf is what we've been confident in. That was red yesterday, but now our confidence is growing for the damaging wind and heavy rainfall. High-end rainfall amounts could be about 8 inches, and so we'll get to where that is in just a second. But first, I want to emphasize that we are seeing a flood risk starting on Sunday. That's going to be for the valley. This is more so Sunday night. Sunday night looks like when we start to see the heavy rainfall moving across the Texas coastline from the south to the north, and so our flood risk really starts to increase on Monday and continues into Tuesday. So this is a slight risk, which is number 2 out of 4 on our flooding risk, but I have kind of updated these rainfall totals. This is based on National Hurricane Center guidance and the current path of this forecast cone. So the latest trend is the forecast cone has shifted a little bit closer to the coast versus closer to the Rio Grande Valley, right along the Texas-Mexico border. And so this position would wind up bringing us higher rainfall totals across the coastal bend. This is 3 to 6 inches of rain expected on this current path, 2 to 4 inches expected a little bit further to the west, and then right at landfall, as Beryl is at its strongest, there could be 5 to 8 inches, and that may continue even up into Kennedy County and around Baffin Bay. So this is just rainfall. This is just the flooding risk when it comes to that inland rain. And your 3 weather impacts, some important things to remember as well, is just a minor shift in that track can mean a big change in the impact felt where you live. So that's why the best thing we have to tell you when it comes to tracking hurricanes is you've got to stay up to date with the latest forecast. You have to listen well in advance so you know when to start preparing, and then you've got to pay attention closer because that's when you know how much you have to act on those preparations you made. So category 2 right now, the latest forecast track, taking it across the Gulf of Mexico a little bit further to the north and then some of those earlier cones. And additionally, you do see category 1, 85-mile-per-hour winds sustained expected at landfall there somewhere near the Rio Grande Valley. The exact path again could still wobble toward Mexico or toward the coastal bend. And then as we continue into Tuesday and Wednesday, we're still dealing with a chance of 40-mile-per-hour winds early Tuesday morning, and then as we head into Wednesday, it does become a tropical depression. So much of the Texas coastline is at risk still. It's not canceled out whether Houston or Laredo will see some of these impacts, but San Antonio at least, we are seeing a tropical depression, so you see it weakening and there's less of a wind impact there. And your rainfall forecast, what I want to emphasize, I highlighted these in red to go along with our alert day criteria. Monday and Tuesday is going to be the highest risk of the heavy rainfall that could potentially cause some flooding. But we're not done with the rain heading into next week. So we see Hurricane Beryl come up again in between this high pressure split we've been talking about all week. But there's the tropical wave that's also going to bring some additional moisture to the Texas coastline as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. It doesn't look like a ton of rain, but it's going to keep us in more of a little bit of a soggy pattern. So based on that latest forecast model, or the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, the timing is slowed down just a tiny bit. So we could still see some impact with flooding possible there on Tuesday morning. And so I added the alert to include Tuesday morning because we may have some flooding risk as you're headed to work or trying to get out and about Tuesday morning. John Thomas.